Good morning, class. Today we're going to continue our discussion on human circulation. Can anybody remind the class what the main muscle within the circulatory system is? Yeah, that's right. It's the heart. And today we're going to learn two main things about the heart. Number one, we're going to learn how to trace the path of blood through the heart. And number two, we're going to learn how to determine if that blood is oxygen rich or oxygen poor at each chamber. So your heart pumps blood through your whole body, and your blood is like the garbage man. It's responsible for sweeping up the trash, the carbon dioxide, and it leaves a clean can filled with the good stuff, oxygen for your cells to use. So we have carbon dioxide and oxygen, both gases. It's difficult but very important to avoid having the trash and the good stuff from mixing. In order to keep these two separate, your heart has four different chambers where the oxygen rich and oxygen poor blood flow through. So on the right side of your heart, you're always going to have oxygen poor blood, and on the left side of your heart, you're always going to have oxygen rich blood. And this is really similar to how arteries and veins work to keep the blood separate, like we learned yesterday. And so, what are these four chambers? Well, at the top, we have the right atrium and the left atrium. And atria accept blood. We can remember that because both words, atria and accept, begin with the letter A. On the bottom chambers, we have the right ventricle and the left ventricle. And ventricles do the opposite. They send out blood. So now I want you to imagine that you're in gym class. You're running really hard, and you feel your heart beating faster. What's happening right now? Well, it's blood circulation. As you're running, your blood is picking up the carbon dioxide sitting at your cells, and it's coming back to the heart because it needs more oxygen for your body. And it does this in 6 steps. The first step is the carbon dioxide filled blood, or the oxygen poor blood, getting accepted at the right atrium. The second step is this blood flowing into the right ventricle. At the third step, the right ventricle sends out the oxygen poor blood to the lungs. Now, I want you to breathe in and breathe out. At the fourth step, when you breathed in, your lungs were refilled with oxygen. And as you breathed out, your lungs got rid of the trash. It got rid of the carbon dioxide. So now you have oxygen-rich blood getting accepted from the lungs into the left atrium. And so at step 5, it flows into the left ventricle. And in step 6, the left ventricle sends the oxygen-rich blood to the rest of your body. Now, on your desk, there's 2 cards, a red card and a blue card. I'm going to point to a different chamber of the heart, and I want you to raise the blue card when this chamber has oxygen poor blood flowing, and I want you to raise a red card when this chamber has oxygen rich blood flowing. So we're going to start at the right atrium. Can you raise your cards, please? If you raise the blue card, you're right. Remember, this is the first step where oxygen poor blood is accepted into the heart. Now we're going to look at the left ventricle. Can you all raise your cards? If you raise a red card, you're right. This is the 5th step where the left ventricle sends out blood to the rest of your body. Now, your heart is able to keep the oxygen-rich blood and oxygen-poor blood separate because of the different chambers of the heart, which are like different rooms in your heart. You can think of it like your bedroom and your bathroom, where the stuff in each room never mix. And the reason your body does all of this is to ensure that all of your muscles get enough oxygen to do their very best, which is especially important when you're doing any form of exercise. Finally, for homework, I want you all to do the sheet on your desk, which will reinforce everything we learned today. The directions are on the top of the sheet, and we're going to go over it first thing tomorrow. Any questions?